Okay, fight fans, it's BPMGmedia.com. It's the Next Day Scorecard. I've got my friend right here. Come on, baby, you got to shake my hand right here. I've got Stan the Man Melbourne right here and Roland Gomez. We host this show for one reason, to give you the day after scorecard. Stan, let's go and talk about the Standing 8 promotion show that just transpired. It was on February the 9th, 2013. And we had 7 bouts out there. And you know what our show is about? It's about telling these fight fans whether the scorecard came up right or wrong. Tell me about the event last night.
Well, first of all, it was a very exciting event. You know, Standing 8, they did a very good job at putting on a very good fight card. All the fighters, you know, they came to fight, and everybody came to get a win, you know. So I have to give it up to Standing 8. You know, it was a very good night. You know, fans enjoyed it. You know, it's like, you know, there's not much I can say. You know, just show much love to Standing 8.
Well, it's Dustin Haney, baby. A shout out to you. Let's get down to the information right now. First bout brings in 122-pounders in to the ring. It's Daz Jones out of Fort Worth, 0-1, getting into it, mixing it up with Roberto. It's a Rigoberto. I'm sorry, my bad. Marino, and it ends up as a split decision. It is 39-37 for Jones, 39-37 for Marino, and 39-37 for Jones, which is a split decision. Tell me what the scorecard, did it read correct?
Yes, it did read correct. You know, both fighters, basically, they knew they had a fight on their hands. You know, each fighter, they knew they had a fight on their hands. They came to fight, and you know, I have to give it back to them. I mean, it was a back and forth fight.
Well, great. Let's step up to the next one. It's Arthur Blood and Guts Trevino, baby. This man was doing his farewell fight. At 7-9 with 4 KOs, a warrior that he is. He's wrapping it up. He's putting up the retirement. He's putting the big R in his column of retirement. He climbs into the ring with a guy out of Lake Dallas, Wilbert Mitchell, who is a rugged fighter, but normally takes a pretty good little beating right here. And this turns out to be, I don't think we got a discrepancy on this scorecard, because it was Mr. Wilbert Mitchell not being able to enter the 4th round. Tell me about the fight.
Well, first of all, I have to say, what a way to go out. Okay, you go out on top. Okay, and you go out like that. This is your retirement fight. Okay, you're retiring. I mean, bottom line, when you left out, I'm looking for you to come back eventually. Okay, you went out on top. That's a very good way to go out, though. I think that every fighter should go out that way, on top of their game, and know when it's time to call it quits. That's the problem with a lot of fighters out there today. Sure. They don't know when to call it quits. You know, I watch heavyweight fighters. You know, great heavyweight fighters do the same thing. You know, they stay in too long, don't know when to call it quits, and then wind up looking bad in the end, because what everybody's going to remember him by is this last fight that he had. And so, but yet, it was a great fight, man. But one of the things that I was shocked about is how long they allowed that fight to go.
Sure.
I mean, it's like after the first round,
Wilbert has a cut over his left eye. He's coming back bleeding profusely from his nose. It's flying around.
Yes.
Okay? In the second round, guess what happens? Arthur now, in the second round, he really controls it to the point that I'm going to tell you, fight fans, right now, he starts looking to the referee if the referee's going to stop this bout. And what happens?
Referee allowed that fight to continue to go on. Even I was shocked, and I'm pretty sure that the audience was shocked at that. And you know, and I'm surprised that his corner didn't throw in the towel, because it was obvious that he had nothing left in that fight. You know, that was a fight that I think that they should have cut short after the second round. It should have been done.
Well, I even said at the end of the third round, I got my notes right here, Stan. You know I always take my notes, baby. I love this game of boxing. It's amazing. Wilbert is still standing, bloody and all. Well, guess what happened shortly after that? It is a retirement, or I'll call it official decision, is technical knockout. The man didn't come out. So they finally stopped the fight, and I think it was a corner. Let's go step up to the next one. Okay. It's out of Liverpool, England. This guy's fighting really, he's out of Liverpool, but he's making home in Houston. A guy by the name of Craig Callahan climbs into the ring with a guy named Hector Garza. Tell me about that one.
Well, Craig Callahan, he's a very technical fighter. Okay, he did a great job at making his opponent fight his fight. And Callahan, you know, he stayed on him. Callahan, he kept the pressure up on him. But I would see at times that Callahan would step back when he should have kept it going.
Excellent point. That's a point that I love that you made, because I'm going to tell you, Craig, I love what you bring to boxing, the technical aspect. But there's got to be a little killer instinct that us fight fans love. And I notice you make an excellent point, and I'm going to go ahead and get down to a specific incident. When the 10-second warning was hit, he had his opponent In the corner, number one, that's an advantage. Against the ropes, that's another advantage. He had the man covering up. The third advantage, at that point, he stepped back. At that point, you know there's only seconds left. Go in for what I call a boxing kill. Let's put an end to this. What do you think of that?
Well, you know, I think that Callahan probably wanted that fight to continue on. I'm pretty sure that Callahan really enjoyed himself. That was his fight. Every round was his fight throughout that fight. And the reach that Callahan had over his opponent,
good point.
I mean, it's like, you know, his opponent did not know how to fight Callahan.
That's right. Well, the final cards read 40-36 on all three judges' scorecards. There is no discrepancy. I'm not even going to ask you, Stan, for that. It is a good decision. We just want to see more action. Now let's step up to the next one. It's Emmanuel Rubalcaba fighting. Last minute, he got called at the last minute because the other fighter that he had that was supposed to fight, Tony Lopez, which is Myron Hill, had not backed out, whatever it was. I'm not going to say nobody backed out, but Manuel comes in. And the scorecard reads on this unanimous decision, 40-36 on all three judges' scorecard. Tell me, is that a beautiful scorecard or not?
Very beautiful scorecard. I'm going to tell you right now, Mr. Lopez, Tony Lopez, he's a very good counterpuncher, but I took notice at what he was doing. Not one time he would look up at his fighter. He was looking at the body the entire time. And throughout that entire fight, round from round, he was a step ahead of his opponent. And he knew exactly what his opponent was going to do before he even do it, before he even make the move. I agree with the judges on that. And, you know, I just have to give it up to him. Great win.
Good win, Tony. Walking in 1-0, walks out of the ring 2-0. Still undefeated. Now let's step up to the next one.
Hold on.
Okay.
But I also have to say, you know, congratulations, you know, because you know he have a WinStar event coming up.
Oh, that's right. I forgot my bad.
Yes.
I forgot about that.
And so, you know, congratulations, Tony. And he just signed a long-term contract with Stand & Aid.
Hey.
He's the first fighter to sign a long-term contract with Stand & Aid. And I have to give it up. I'm really looking forward to you succeeding in the future. You know, we're going to continue to follow you. I'm really looking forward to you becoming a top contender. A
salute to Tony Lopez and Reyes Boxing, where he trains out of. Hey, we want to see you back in the ring. Now let's step to the next one. It's Ricardo Valencia out of Houston, baby. If you remember yesterday, I'm going to tell you right now, it was Saturday. There was a front moving in through Dallas, and I got a feeling it was a Houston front bringing us some damaging storms, baby, because this man came in to disrupt the day of Steven Gutierrez out of Fourth, who was a fan favorite. Everybody was pulling for him, but what happens?
Basically, he came in, took care of his business, got a win out of it.
It was 6 rounds. The final cards read 59-55, 59-55, 60-54, and yours truly had it 59-55. There was no discrepancy out here. Got to tell you, Ricardo, I'm going to tell you right now, baby, of good showmanship, of boxing, of a feel for the ring that was second to none. You took angles, you took advantage of this man's inability to move around. He wanted to brawl with you, you boxed him, and you walk out a winner. I salute you, Ricardo. I'll tell you what, let's go and step to the main event right here. We want to make this short, sweet, and simple, but we can't, baby, because we love this boxing. We still got 2 bouts to go, and this right here is the main event. It's Norman Shadow Allen out of Greenbelt, Maryland, coming in to take on one of the area's favorites, the Diamond himself, El Diamante. That's what you say in Spanish, El Diamante, the Diamond, Hector Vasquez. And the scorecards read 60-54, the final scorecards, 60-54, 60-54, 59-55. Was it a fair scorecard?
Yes, it was a fair scorecard. You know, it's like, but I was very concerned, you know, during the second round. You know, you talked about it quite often. You know, he wound up putting his hand in the second round, but yet he was able to apply the pressure. Basically, he really won that fight single-handed.
Sure did.
Because he was doing all that damage with his left hand. With the left hand, he was doing all the damage with the left hand, and he continued to work the body. I mean, it's like Norman, it looks like to me that Norman was waiting for Diamond to punch himself out.
Excellent point.
And by the time he realized that Diamond wasn't going to punch himself out, it was really too late. But, you know, after the first round, but during the first round, you know, I said to myself, this fight could go either way.
I remember you said that, yes. Yeah.
But after the first round, every round went to Diamond.
Well, I'll tell you what, a salute to Hector and his dad, because his dad loves him. I've seen him as an amateur progress to a professional, and it was beautiful. Again, The win goes to El Diamante, Hector Vasquez. Now let's talk about the bout. Oh my gosh. This one right here. Oh, we got to just turn our heads on this one right here. It's Joshua Burns. 3-14. I'm going to first of all say that. 3-14. This man is no 3-14 boxer himself. Out of Garland, Texas, he climbs into the ring with a guy by the name of area favorite, undefeated Chap Huggins. But I've got to admit, it's been a 3-year sabbatical. He's fought. He had to fight cancer, and he beat cancer. And he climbs back into the ring. And he takes on a scrappy, ready. This Josh is chiseled when he comes in. They make weight at 154 pounds. And I remember Josh was around there, 152, 154. But you got to tell me about the fight first before I tell you about what happens here. Tell me about the fight.
Well, you know, Josh, this was my first time ever seeing Josh fight. This is my first time ever seeing him in action. And, you know, Josh, he promised us action.
Yes.
And he brought the action, okay? And so, you know, it was a very great fight, man. And it's like, really, you know, after what really happened, you know, I don't understand what happened. You know, we had the fight covered from 2 different angles this time, you know. And we were limited to how much video we can get, so I couldn't go back and review the entire fight, okay? So, Josh, you know, to me, you know, I really feel like, you know, Josh really got what he deserved during the first calling of the fight.
About the first decision.
Yeah, the first
because
decision.
Let me go ahead and interrupt him right now. There were 2 decisions in this bout that brought boxing to its knees. I'm going to tell you, first of all, I scored this bout totally in the favor of Josh Burns. And guess what the judges do with the first decision? They see it just the same. It is 39-37. I got it written down right here. 39-37, 39-37, 40-36. Now, Stan, it's a unanimous decision given to Josh Burns, and there is not one cry of disparity in the decision. Everybody walks away from the ring knowing that Josh Burns has just won this fight. Do you believe that?
Yes, I walked away knowing that Josh won the fight, and you know, and I agreed with the judges 100%, you know, on that. And so
then what happens? You got to tell me what happens now.
Well, you know, it's like there was you know, something happened. I don't understand what happened, but after the next bout, you know, they called the fighters back to the ring, and the judges, you know, they must have saw something different. I don't know if they were looking at the fight, you know, in between fights, but the judges must have called something different, because they called the fighters back and they made it a draw. And I didn't understand that. That was my first time ever seeing that. And so, but yet and still, you know, I'm like, that's the judges.
Well, here's the second decision. You ready for the second scorecard? The second scorecard shows 38-38, a draw, 38-38, a draw, and 39-37 to Josh. But it was a majority draw. You know who we have? We have Josh Burns on the phone, and I've got to get his input on this. Let's go and talk to him. Josh, first of all, how you doing?
I'm doing fine, Roland. Thanks for having me.
Well, I'll tell you what, you know, Stan and I are here, and you can hear what we're saying about this fight. I'm going to ask you right now, how do you feel about the chain of events that happened last night and taking you from a winner, which you walked out knowing you won, back to a draw? How do you cope with that?
Well, first of all, before you answer that, I want to know, how did you feel with the judges' decisions when you left the ring?
Oh, that's a good point.
Oh, their initial decision, I felt great about. I thought it was the proper decision they made. I thought it was a well-judged fight from that initial decision. Now, coming back to the second decision, I thought they thought about it. I don't know what happened within their thought process. I don't know what happened with the scorecards initially, but them overturning it to a draw was a little disappointment. But I've been around this game for a long time. I turned pro in 2003, so I've seen these things happen. They haven't happened to me before, but I have been screwed a lot of times. And I know Roland mentioned my record earlier, that's 3-14, but I also have 6 draws. And now this will be the 7th. So a lot of those fights aren't close. I feel like I should get the decision, but it is boxing. And boxing is it's a dirty sport. It's a nasty business. It's very cutthroat. And I wish we can go ahead and clean it up. But I think the commission needs to revise a little bit.
Well, Josh, let me ask you another question. When you were in the ring with Chap Huggins, a Chapstick, and I call him that because he used to have a great jab. Tell me, did you feel like you were in control all of the rounds? Or do you think you felt, I want you to be honest with me, did you think you felt you lost a round and maybe won? Because I'm going to tell you, first of all, I saw the first round in Chap's favor, but after that it was all Burns. Tell me what you thought.
I think I won every round.
Okay.
I know you think I lost the first. My corner thought I lost the second. But I thought I controlled every round.
Okay.
Especially when you go to the three qualifiers of judging a fight: ring generalship, aggressiveness, punches. I controlled where I wanted to be in the ring, even when I was on the ropes. Everybody that knows me in the gym know I like being on the ropes. I see things, so I controlled everything. There's never one time that I was out of my comfortable element. I was comfortable in there. I did what I wanted to do in the ring.
Well, I never saw you in trouble. I saw you start wearing Chap down. It looked like he got tired there toward the end of the third and pretty much the last half of the fourth round. Could you hear him breathing or anything? It's some inside information that you can tell us what was going in the ring between y'all two. Any talking, any swearing, any heavy breathing?
Oh no, I didn't hear any, but I did see him taking deep breaths. I
Gotcha.
still see that, and I'm very aware of when people do that, start unloading more punches. I just kept my jab going there, to keep them off balance, and I used a little angles later in the fight just to keep them off balance and everything.
Well, Stan, do you have any other?
Well, you know what? When I saw the fight, after the first round, I said to myself, this fight could go either way. Both of you brought on the action.
See.
It was that first round was really back and forth. I drew that first round as a draw, and to me, after that, you took every round to me.
I agree.
And so, I have to give it up to you. I appreciate you coming on the show, taking the time to be with us. But, we're really looking for big things coming from you in the future.
I appreciate you guys having me. I appreciate it, Dustin and Stanley, having me on the card. We really need to do something about the judging and take, especially here in our home state. Try to clear up boxing a little bit. It's a good sport. I love the sport of boxing. I don't like the politics behind it. There's certain people that shouldn't be judging fights, and there's certain commissions that need to do a better job.
Well, Josh, we love you. We're going to go and cut this phone interview short. We're going to go ahead, when I call it cut it short, we're going to go ahead and put an end to it. We appreciate you being here, being part of bpmgmedia.com. We love you. We want to see you back in the ring. But we're going to go ahead and close this one up. As we say our salute to Mr. Dustin Haney and Standing A, all I can say is continue to bring the action, Dustin. Continue.
Exactly, Dustin. I mean, you guys, everything was well organized. It was a great fight. We're really looking forward to more fights coming from you guys, and we expect you guys to be really bring this game back to the DFW area.
It's standing8promotions.com. It's April 19th. Let me repeat that one more time. April 19th is the next Standing 8 Promotion show. You stay tuned. As BPMG, it's been a pleasure, Stan. Media.com brings you the moving action of boxing. Stay tuned.
That's it.